skies, we keep on searching, but we will never know what we're after.
I thought the first two matches were a banger. That last one, edge of our seats until the very end. 15 rounds deep, and it took a roam on Clubhouse basement to pull the victor. Raven, very quickly, final thoughts on that last matchup.
I'm still absolutely amazed that we saw the matchup we saw. This whole night has been absolutely insane. In terms of that last matchup, honestly, I thought Rhythm were going to take it. I felt like they were playing better than Noble, but Noble hung on there. They got the points that they needed, so well played to them. And we've got one more game, Manic.
One more game. Wildcard is who we're going to be seeing first up. That team right now has clinched their spot back at the top of the standings. They currently a roster of Diesel, Vinny, Emorin, Pat, Geo, and of course Flux and Silex as the coach. This team, I mean, need we say much more, Raven? The team themselves have had two incredible back-to-back performances against Elevate and Knights.
Yeah, huge performances. I think that one against the Knights in particular, 7-2 on Clubhouse, cannot be understated. I think that was just an absolute dominant effort from Wildcard, and for me, really made me confident that they are back in some form. So hopefully they can continue that consistency, but I think this is going to be quite a deadly game for their opponents.
Well, it could be at the same time their opponents, which are, of course, Ferox. They have really had quite a decent season, you'd have to say, Raven. A lot of close matches. Noble and Knights went the full regulation. Unfortunately, they weren't able to grab the win, but they also beat Akami and Rhythm 7-3. Now, that is not really prefacing this much because Ferox are still in that danger zone of relegation come the end of this season, which is literally this game and then 4 more away. So it's very close.
Super close. LFO winning earlier would be quite the alarm for Ferox because that was their signal that they aren't safe still. They need one more map win. They've got 2 games. They've got tonight's wildcard game and they've got LFO in that final week. So if they can't secure points against wildcard tonight, it will literally come down to that match against LFO. Which one of them avoids relegation or which one of them's going down?
There are actually quite a lot on the line here for Ferox. So we'll have a look at the... Well, actually, give me your thoughts on what we'll be seeing in terms of maps. I think potentially Club, we've seen both of them played in the past couple of weeks. Yep. Villa, Cafe, something along those lines, you think?
Yeah, I would think so. Maybe even some Coastline. It's something that Ferox has been okay at in the past. Granted, that was with an older roster. That's one thing about Oceanic Nationals is they've had quite a shake-up coming in. So their map pool hasn't been as explored as our stats really cover. But yeah, I think maybe they'll go for something to shake it up.
I hope so. I hope they do. Let's have a look as these vetoes do come up. It's going to be Cafe and Villa off instantly. Theme Park followed by Oregon. No Coastline. I'm really unhappy about that. I wanted to see a Coastline to close out tonight. Yep. It would have just topped things off for me. In fact, we head back to Clubhouse, Raven. What a joy.
Yes, look, I guess it's not too much of a surprise that we're going to Clubhouse. Both of these teams like it. I'm probably more concerned for Ferox, given that Wildcard have looked quite good on Clubhouse this season. Yeah. That being said, I don't know. There's a reason they got through, right? They might have something up their sleeve. I'm not going to say anything of confidence right now, given that the last 3 games have just blown everything out of the water.
Oh, seriously. Like, I'm still trying to register everything that's happened tonight because there's just been so much chaos. Like the fact that last match just went the full distance is mental. And I would be pretty upset if Ferox don't pull out anything but the full regulation at the very least. And the thing is, leading into this, I mean, bar their game against Elevate on Wednesday night, I would say that they're in with a good shot at this in terms of maybe taking the game a little bit closer than what other people expected. But where do they start, Raven? That's the question.
I think they've got to take some risks, play a little bit aggressive, get up in the face of Wildcard and just make Wildcard not feel confident or comfortable. And I guess it's the similar attack that LFO had with Elevate earlier, in that they just need to play a little bit different. And I think Ferox are actually quite good at doing that. Some of their earlier matches that went really well for them, they worked like aggressive but structured and really up in the face of their opponents. So I think they've got a shot. I think Ferox could pull an upset off, especially given what we've just seen. So I don't know. Depends what wildcard turns up, I'll say.
Yeah, no, that's very true. Let's have a look at the predictions, what the Snowball panel thought. And if you had really picked Ferox in this encounter, you're probably going hopping. But at the same time, after tonight, man, this is anyone's game.
Yeah, and like even this season, thinking about it, it's been pretty hard to predict. Like, what are we on? Playday 6. 6 times 4 is like 24 games. Oh my god, live math, I hate it. So look, our best caster, our best predictor is not even 50% win rate, or he's around 50% prediction rate. Like, that's pretty low. The season has not been favorable for predictions.
Raven, I'm gonna give you one tip that I learned very early. Don't do live math.
I was right.
Do live math.
I did in my head just then. I was right. 24.
Oh, you are smack bang on there, and lucky you are. But that means, Raven, that Wildcard are going to lose this. Unfortunately, that's how the predictions work. Ooh. But this could be spicy, or it could literally fall flat on its face. Wildcard are seeing some incredible form of late, and Ferox have had a very good season thus far. It really could come down to how Ferox turn up. I'm well and truly predicting Wildcard to take this and by a landslide. I have to say that right from the start. Clip me at the end, that's completely fine. But after the past 2 performances we've seen from Wildcard, you could not convince me otherwise.
I would agree. I really would. If we hadn't already seen basically 3 absolute stunning games earlier. But I think Wildcard, hands down, they are favourites. They have been looking very strong the last few playdays in particular, because let's face it was a little bit shaky earlier in the season. They did lose to Noble. We talked about that just before. So it hasn't all been sunshine for Wildcard, but they're looking pretty smart coming in towards this end of the season.
Really upset that we didn't see a Thatcher ban there. Oh, the shields are copping it in this ban phase.
Sushi target ban? Pretty sure it's Sushi that's been playing with the shielders.
Yeah. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh, wait, hang on. Sushi's on. No. Wait, yes. Yes, it could be. I am... Whew.
Are you okay?
A night. It's been a night. It's been a night. And now we're coming to the end of it. We are, of course, on the final game of the second last Playday, Raven. Whew. It's gone quick.
Yep. Has it? I feel like I've been standing here for hours. I mean, I literally have been standing here for hours.
But I mean this. I mean the season. I don't mean the game.
Oh, the season. Oh, I thought you meant tonight. I was like,
no.
Night.
No, tonight. Yep. Literally, it feels like almost 24 hours since we started the broadcast. It has been, and for 3 best of ones so far, that is incredible.
Yeah. Yeah, it has been long, but it's been very entertaining. There's been great matches, as has the season. Very much that kind of vibe. So while we see 83% in the community vote in favor of Wildcard, I feel like that's one of the warning bells that this must be an overtime game, Manic.
Oh, I think I'm going to have to agree with you there. Ladies and gentlemen, let us know. Use the hashtag OCN and give us your thoughts on what tonight has been and what this game will bring, because I honestly I'm completely lost for words at this point, and this one is very much one that's been on the cards for me ever since we saw Ferox really have that those 3 good games to start off with Noble, Okami, and Knights, and they've kind of continued that. So their form is definitely something to note, and it's something to watch quite closely in this match, and to see what they're able to do.
So defense for Ferox up first, which I think is probably really good for them. It's going to allow them to potentially settle into the game. Shade in particular loves a good flank, and you can see that he is not near site. He is in fact in the basement right now. So Wildcard are going to have to. Oh no, he's not. Oh, I'm so wrong. He's in lounge. He's not on site though. He's not on site though. So
no. No, and to be completely honest, we know what he does and we know what he can do. So Oda, how tricky are you? How tricky are you? We're about to find out. He'll gamble the right side and they will go the left side. So unfortunately that does open up. And so too, the shield is well and truly gone. And now, Wildcard with 2 minutes left on their attack can look to displace some of the other utility of Ferox.
Look, that was a good effort though from Oda. He was close to getting that bandit trick. He just ended up putting the bandit charge on the wrong wall at the end of the day. Yep. But he was there, able to bandit trick. So I think that was well played from Ferox. Just didn't quite pull it off. Now Wildcard really not taking any time at all to disrupt logistics and come and take that construction control. So with Candle's wall open and now this, it's a lot of pressure on the side for Ferox.
Definitely makes them start to sweat at the very least. Still got that comm wall electrified, so Wildcard. Likely the final piece of this puzzle will be to open that up, and you're going to see it right now as well. The second EMP just to ensure that they get that open, and with that, that's pretty much the full flush for the attacking side of Wildcard.
Yeah, so far looking really good for Wildcard. Then again, Ferox are just holding their grounds. They haven't been over peaking or they're not over aggressing. That could work against them. Maybe they need to start getting up in the face of Wildcard. I said that maybe that aggression could help them get some control. 30 seconds to go. There's basically just been no real engagements happening, Manny.
No, they really haven't, and this means it's going to get really spicy. Those smoke babes have still been held onto. Not one has been used. They have enough to deny all the time that's pretty much left. That opening kill on the Diesel as well makes things a little bit more spicy. Oda with the C4 will take down Vinny. Oh my Wildcard. They can't deal with what Ferox are holding with. Emo-Rin, he will be able to find one on the Todd. He's still going to be cautious though. Pat now has to re-stick that defuser. Only a couple of seconds left. 4 players for Ferox here. They just need to come in and refrag. That they do. Pat will be able to find one. My word, how is this as close as it is? Pat will be taken down, and I believe that was actually through the wall. And they still don't know yet. It's coming. There we go. Eventually. Yeah.
Look, I gotta say, credit to Ferox. They just held their ground. Even though Wildcard were getting all that control, Ferox just waited and waited and waited, and Wildcard didn't capitalize on it. So by the time they walked into sight, they just walked into a trap, basically. Well played from Ferox. They've got the first round here, Manic. Oh, I don't know. I'm scared.
No. Stop. Stop it. No, that is really good discipline, though, you have to admit. We've seen so many times before, you know, like CCTV wall open or potentially garage being pressured, and the defensive side feel like they have to overreact to it and try and pull something out of the hat. And they've really played that down to the wire, and they just held on to so much utility. Not only were they not peaking, but they held on to the smoke bays, they held on to the C4s. So by the time that Wildcard were in there, like you said, Raven, they just had so much to deal with, and I think that's full kudos to what Ferox have done.
Protect your bombs from being defused by attackers.
A good point too is, just like the last game, or unlike the last game is what I meant to say, the attacks in theory shouldn't be as difficult, right? They've got Thatcher on the board, even the ace is on the board, so I don't know, hard breach shouldn't be too tricky, and that on Clubhouse is very important. So this basement defense, for example, is nowhere near as much of a set thing as it was in the last game, even though it didn't end up being a set thing, because I don't know what went on, but yeah, look, I think it's a good start for Ferox.
I mean, I don't think there's a person in the chat that would disagree with you on that one. And we will be obviously heading to the basement now. I don't really need to make that known, but similar electric claw as to before. This time Todd will be backing up on the bandit instead of Oda.
nice and tricky with the electrical placements. But the EMPs are on the board. So I don't think it's too much of an issue for the wildcard attack. Again, nice and quick here. They've already got the whole top floor control. So they can just start to mosey on down. Get this vertical pressure. Geo on the sledge. Gonna play quite a critical role. We talked about Leb in that previous game being very important on the sledge. Nico was the one for Noble playing between the Buck and the sledge. It's a similar impact on these verticals.
You see the line now that Geo can hold, go straight through to Moto. And a free opening of Moto Hatch. Whew. Motor, I believe that was, just getting away with his life. And Diesel now rotating to the blue hatch. And bit by bit, opening up. And the pressure will slowly but surely be reapplied as Todd now decides to hold those bandits for that later round on the church wall.
Attackers have dropped the bomb diffuser.
Yeah, and here we go. This is going to be really important for him to be able to trick these, because if these Selmas go on the wall successfully, he's going to be under a lot of pressure. He's not going to be able to trick all of those, that's for sure. That one on the far side is disabled at least. But hey, he's done a great job getting the other two.
He did an incredible job. The fact that 3 Selmas went out and only one of them connected while Sophia was also putting pressure on that. Whew. You have to be cheering if you're Ferox right now. And that is all of the hard breach used. Diesel obviously with the 2 charges. They don't have Armory hatch open. Oh, no, sorry. Oh, it is. It is. Sorry, I thought I just... I thought I saw Habana for a second, and I am... Whew, that's the kind of night it's been. But now they're going to have to make these decisions, Raven.
They are. 30 seconds again. Not putting themselves in a great spot. Imarin's going to make it a bit easier by taking out Todd. He's been tagged pretty low, though, and now taken out of the game. Trades coming back and forth. Final 20 seconds. Wildcard tagged low. They're not in a great spot for this plant, but they're going to start it, Manic.
They're going to have to stick it as well. Diesel coming from behind in blue. That's a big start. Oh, the diffuser. It's being stopped. 10 seconds. Surely Ferox don't pull this off again. Oh, my words. Ferox are making a statement here in the first 2 rounds, Raven.
They're digging deep. They're digging deep. I'm not gonna say much about it yet, but they're looking pretty good in these defenses. That's 2 for 2, as you can see, and they're going to be moving to gym and bedroom. Wildcard are stalling out probably a touch too much. I don't know. I felt like they had quite a lot of decent control. They started that church wall opening at about a minute 20. They had pretty good kitchen presence. Maybe they just couldn't find the opening they needed. And if that's the case, again, props to Ferox just being disciplined and not trying to overpeak and give Wildcard too much. And if that is the case, I feel like this has just been a fantastic read from Ferox, because it's just something that Wildcard is so susceptible to.
Okay, well, this makes things so much more enjoyable with Ferox on a run and gun start. That's 2 rounds in a row they've taken it, and you would probably say quite convincingly as well. So, Wildcard, though, we know how good they are at adapting, how quick they are at adapting as well. So, I'm sure it won't be long before we see a Wildcard round. However, we are going to gym and bedroom on that second floor with the extended hold into cash and potentially whatever Shade wants to do.
Yeah, Shade is definitely that kind of player. He will kind of do whatever he wants to do, and it can be quite lethal. Hasn't had a massive impact in the last 2 rounds. Oh, he found that sneaky little drone, though. That's going to help. But, yes, let's see what Ferox can do here. Of course, they are trying to get some retribution after quite a poor showing on Wednesday. They got absolutely dismantled by Elevate.
And a game that you would actually kind of say Ferox had a very good chance in as well, so makes it even more upsetting that it did finish the way it did. And CCTV is open with Wildcard completely dismissing it now and moving on to bigger and better things. Obviously,
Bomb
the
located by
drones will
attackers.
still give them the information that Todd is just being cheeky. And talk about cheeky. Shade is always doing something wild.
Really is. I thought maybe he was going to try and peek towards where Geo is right now from Garage, but not the case. Wildcard look poised to open this jacuzzi wall, though. They're just waiting for their Thatcher? Or maybe they're going to try and clear this utility physically. Might be the case. They have managed to clear it, in fact, though. Oda's going to have to bail back. And this is, again, really good time management so far. And map presence from Wildcard. Having jacuzzi wall open, big deal, but it's the later rounds that Wildcard have just not been able to pull anything off.
Shade, what are you doing? Shade, what are you doing? Shade, what are you doing? Pat gets taken down. He actually nearly gets traded through the wall there, but what?
Yep. Look, he just manages to get away with stuff constantly. He's still alive. Nazgul's the one that's been taken down, so the refrag or the trade has happened at least. Makes it a 4 versus 4. He's on the main stairs. Can still definitely have an impact. Diffuser is left on the roof, Manic. Nobody else is on the roof for Wildcard. I mean, like, it's not an alarm bell thing right now, but someone will have to go up and get it. So if they're too slow, it could really be their undoing.
Oh my word, and he is burning so much time. If he finds that kill on the emo in there, a 4 versus 2 ensues. The diffuser still has not been picked up. Time is running dangerously thin here. And Team Ferox, they could be posed to take yet another defensive round. It will be 3 on the trot here. They are going to have to come up quite big in the last 15 seconds, Raven.
They are. Geo gets one big kill. You're going to be able to push through and try and get this gym plant, but Sushi, the great line of sight, doesn't get the down or the kill, though. Deal's going to have to try and stick this next to the hatch. His impact grenades do down him in time, and he can't get the diffuser down, Medic. That is another round to Ferox. Unbelievable. That impact just saved him. Oh my god.
What? What is happening? Tonight has left me in utter I am... What? Oh my word. And I am almost confident that he was not trying to pick up Diesel there. In fact, I'm sure he was trying to grab that defuser.
I'm sure too.
Oh man.
Just the just the unfortunate thing, right, is that the diffuser fell on the injured person, and because he was so close to the gym machine, he couldn't really like maneuver anywhere else to get the plant down. And so little time. Again, Wildcard have just left themselves nothing to do any of this, and I'm not really sure why, because actually I feel like their early round time management is really good. I really do. Like, they had CCTV wall and jacuzzi wall open by about 1.5 minutes. They had heaps of time. And by the time they went for the plant, besides getting a few picks, I don't think they've really progressed anything in terms of sight for themselves. So, I don't know. I think they just need to, I don't know, grit their teeth and just go a bit quicker.
And like,
10 seconds remaining.
you know, that is an insane clutch. It's an insane end to a round. But like,
5 seconds left.
Shade with a double opening and just burning through time while Wildcard had what seemed to be everything they needed to kind of convert that round. Just mental. Absolutely mental.
Yep. Look, that's a full sweep of sights for Ferox, yeah. So here we are. They're up 3-0. We talked about Wildcard's adaptation abilities. This is where it's probably their chance to shine, because they've seen all the sites held for the first time now. They should know what to expect. So how can they adapt to start swinging these rounds in their favor? Because they haven't won a round yet. Like, it's 3-0.
Yep. 3-0 it is, my friend. Unbelievably crazy. Oda did a very good job in basement prior, denying 2 Selma charges, and almost, you would say, had a great chance to deny that thermite charge from going off on the wall prior in this exact site, but it was not to be. Playing very cautiously here as Wildcard.
Yeah, again, they've taken almost half the round just to be able to deal with this. So, well played. Gio taken very low. Not sure whether Oda is going to try and stick this or not. Oh, the electric claw comes through. Not sure if that's going to be in time. No, not quite.
Wow.
Oh, I reckon that would have been close.
I reckon it would have been a whisker off. That was almost clutch. Oh, wow. Now, what happens here? We've got a minute 15 off the clock. Shade now caught, and he'll drop oil hatch and completely back away. That sounds like garage door starting to be opened, and the garage wall, and in fact it is.
Yeah, so again, here we are, Wildcard. After stalling for half the round, they've actually managed to open up quite a lot of things, and they're pretty well set up. They don't have garage control, but they could start to get garage control. It's all about what they do with this, because that's been the struggle the last 3 rounds, is they've been in these positions. Totally winnable situations, but just have not been able to close. Nazgul just missing those shots onto Vincere at the door.
Oh, yep, that's mighty unfortunate for Nazgul. Trying to slowly back away on the angle and wasn't given it. Shade again, just being Shade. He will be forced back to site. Raven, once again, 20 seconds left on the clock. Ferox are pretty well turtled at the moment. And now, Diesel needs to be careful. Just going to live on the back of that, but Sushi does find Emo Ring. It's on, and it's on big time, Raven.
Oh, it is. Everything's a gunfight. Pat just dies to smoke. Gio's the last one alive. Odo's going to chuck the C4 down. Diffuser is without reach. Ferox again, Matic. They close out these rounds in the dying seconds. They are up 4-0.
It's utter chaos. This is utter chaos. 4 rounds in a row against the best team in the ANZ region. This, I promise you right now, this cannot be understated. So, just for those of you at home that understand what kind of stakes are on right now, if Ferox win this, they are completely out of reach of relegation. That's what's happening right now. They are completely untouchable. So, like,
it's a good point.
Not only is this an incredible performance against a really great team. Sorry, I'm way too emotional right now. But this is huge for what Ferox's season has been and will continue to be moving forward. So I don't want to get my hopes up way too early, but this is really good.
It's definitely looking good so far. To bring it back to your point about them avoiding relegation if they close it out, we did talk about it way earlier in the night when LFO won their game. What did we say would negate their efforts tonight? It was Ferox beating Wildcard, which we kind of dismissed because it didn't seem like it was going to happen at the time. But boy, oh boy, it seems like it's almost the reality at the moment, Manic. And quite the feels bad for LFO, to be honest, because after such a big effort against Elevate, potentially might not matter.
Yep. I'm speechless at how this season is coming to a close, and I guess we couldn't really ask for much of a better close to it. With only 1 Playday left, there is still quite a lot on the table, and this on the back of Wildcard's performances leaves questions that we need answered. And although they are well and truly secured for the playoffs, still a little concerning, but this is, you do have to give full props to Team Ferox at the moment.
Usually, yeah, it's definitely not a matter of just, oh, Wildcard, they're playing bad. It's Ferox are playing very well. Really disciplined. I think that's the biggest takeaway, is just that they are not giving Wildcard anything. And then when the gunfights are there to be had, they're taking it to them.
They are. Geez, this looks familiar. Opening up those hatches nice and early now are Wildcard. And instead of the ace, they are going to bring Vinny and the Habana, which Oda in the previous defense seemed to outplay quite intelligently as well. And this should be armory open as well, unless they can stop this with the impacts.
Yeah, they could definitely impact trick. That being said, Shade, oh no, it's Sushi on quite the run through oil. Oh, the timing on the electric core. Ferox are just pulling all these kinds of plays out. They're going to be able to use it again, and he runs through the line of sight of Geo, so that's going to be a bit of a loss there, is Oda. But we did see Sushi on quite a flanking oil pit. Not sure if that got caught or whether he decided to not go for it. He is back now in Arsenal. He's going to go back into third. 50 seconds, Manic. It's all about this late round. What are we going to see from Wildcard?
Attackers have recovered their diffuser.
Unfortunately for Ferox as well, losing that C4 on Oda may not play a massive effect in the round, but it's just one piece of utility and a crosshair that Wildcard don't need to worry about, as it looks like they are putting a lot of pressure toward Kitchen. Pat is down, and he's going to stick that. In fact, he will be forced back off of the angle. And is he going to stick this? That's the real question. He keeps getting caught out. What is happening? Ferox dropped the diffuser. Raven, 10 seconds left. Shade and Nazgul both find a kill. Sushi comes in massive. Geo, he has to go. He has to make this play, but Shade steps up again. Ferox, 5 straight rounds on Clubhouse. Are they really doing this right now?
Just so well played from Ferox. It's just they are waiting for Wildcard to play right into their plans. Again, besides Oda running past that line of sight of Geo, I did not once see a Ferox player decide to try and take some super aggressive peek or anything like that. They just waited for the drop, smoked it out. Obviously, they killed the planter, and it was just chaos after that. I'm just, it's unbelievable. But Ferox are playing out of their minds right now.
Attackers need to locate and defuse bombs making.
I am... Hey, English words are hard to say when this is happening. Man, who knew it was my job to talk about a game, because this is not a game, this is an onslaught right now. Team Ferox are not giving Wildcard, they're literally not giving them an inch. They have played every round phenomenally, and they are fully deserving of this scoreline right now, Raven.
Usually. Yeah, usually. I mean, like I said before, Ferox is playing out of their mind. For a lot of people, they probably don't think they are, right? But it's just their absolute patience that is paying off so well. I feel like it's been such a good adaptation into Wildcard play, because they have always been known for pretty last-minute executes. Generally, I would say, oh no way! Oh no way! Oh my god, that is the salt in the wound moment. I can't remember what I was saying anymore, but oh my god.
Oh man, that's Diesel. That's the Thermite. I am just like, literally everything is going right, bar Shade dying there. Everything seems to have gone right for Ferox right now. I mean, you couldn't write a script better than this, Raven.
No, so that's a big pick, because now the wall pressure that they were getting in previous rounds is going to be a lot tougher. They've only got Vinny on this ace to open either the Kennel's wall or Jacuzzi wall here. At least Pat is still alive, so they'll probably be able to get this Jacuzzi wall open pretty easily. But it's just more so they have to spare this utility somehow.
Oda does know he's been spotted, so that should be intel that he will be able to play with. Geo obviously ensuring that he cannot do anything in that position, just as you said, Raven. At least one side is open for now. Drone on side as well. A lot of intel for Wildcard here.
Yeah. Oh, Oda, it's so risky doing that rotation, but he made it. How is he not punished for that? So now he's going to be able to put bandits onto this bathroom wall, which means it's not going to be accessible for Wildcard. Imarin, all lucky, he does get Oda tagged up quite heavily. Now they'll be able to clear that. Now they can potentially open bathroom wall. Just under a minute to go. They've got the man advantage. They've got some map control. I'm still skeptical.
So am I. Todd, obviously, with a mute jammer of sorts on that bathroom wall because it has stopped that Selma charge from going off. Todd, don't tell me. Todd, don't tell me. Todd, what are you doing? Ferox are playing with my heart right now. It's coming down to it, Raven. 30 seconds, and this is for a flawless half against the best team in Australia.
And Todd's still below. They've got a bulletproof camera watching. Like, he could definitely deny this plant. Wildcard need to go deep for frags or something, but no, they don't. Nazgul gets Vinci, and now Todd doesn't deny the right spot. Oh, 2 versus 2, Sushi on the
Defenders
retake.
have eyes on the
Here we go,
diffuser.
Manic.
Attackers
Todd
need to
versus
protect it.
Geo.
I mean, at this point, it is literally just to save face for Wildcard. Ferox having an unreal time right now. I think there's still one more diffuser on site. 25 seconds. Todd, he starts to stick it. Geo is close to the wall. He won't be able to see him just yet. He jumps off the diffuser. That is key for Geo's signal there. He hears it. Oh, Todd jumped out. He tries to go for the ambitious play, and Geo is willing and waiting for that frag. And Wildcard, they save themselves a 6-0 half as we now head to Wildcard's defensive side at 1-5. Whew.
Look, I mean, two things I'm going to point out here. One, these bans should not be making the attack as hard as it is. It was a big emphasis on that Noble game, right? That was the case because there was no Thatcher or Maverick. But right now, I mean, look, you can see Wildcard are getting everything done in terms of their utility clear or opening walls, that kind of thing. They're getting all that done, right? But they still only managed to get 1 round. So I'm very concerned that I don't think Ferox is going to struggle as much in their attacks, but also
Defenders, protect your
Wildcard
bombs from being defused by attackers.
They need to win all 6 rounds of these. This has to be a perfect half to avoid overtime at least.
Now feels like a really fitting time to preface this, and I probably should have in the pre-game, but I didn't think it was going to be as much of a point. The last two times these two teams have played off, right? It was in 6 Masters. 7-5 on Clubhouse, a wildcard victory. 8-7 on Consulate, a wildcard victory. Both times these two teams have faced in the last season, it has gone the full distance. So,
5 seconds to insertion.
you know, this is just unbelievably strong from Team Ferox, but
Attackers must enter the bomb.
it is keeping things interesting. And now, Wildcard pretty much have to go flawless on their defensive side, which, to be honest, is not the biggest stretch of the imagination right now.
Oh yeah, it's definitely possible, but I'm just a little skeptical that it will happen. We'll wait and see. You mentioned that wildcard conflict game from last season. I remember that. Yeah, it was super close, 7-8, and that was the game that it was like the Ethan versus Warden showdown, which both of those guys actually aren't on either of these teams anymore. But they both dropped over 20 kills or something crazy.
Man. This is somewhat of a storyline. Now, see how Team Ferox does with their clears and how long it takes them to really initiate some of these openings. Obviously, last match is really nothing to go off in terms of how Clubhouse is played. But this could certainly make for
A bomb has been located.
a very tight one there. A nice line by Sushi's drone there. And it doesn't look like Wildcard were able to spot that either. Just waiting for potentially a shoulder peek. A little shimmy from Emo to take him down, but he's not going to be given it just yet. I believe that was the drone spotted.
Yeah, looks like it. So, here we go. The old dance kitchen. Going to be Oda on the sledge here. He's going to open up some verticals and start to clear utility below. We'll get to clear that Banshee to start off with. They've already got each hatch open, so this is again a great sign for Ferox. They're in a good position right now, at least. The big difference is going to be what they do with the late rounds, because that's what Wildcard was struggling with, was that end of round closing. There's a minute to go. Got some really good control.
They certainly do. Emorin's still in blue and hasn't been displaced as of yet. So should be able to hold on to this for a moment longer. Sushi has been very patient on that line waiting as Nazgul now getting information into dirt. So Pat will not go unnoticed. And potentially he is going to be happy to stick around with 30 seconds left, Raven.
Here we go. Todd is down. He is planting. Looks like he might be able to get away with it. No, that C4 comes through just in the right time. Shade's going to replace. He's going to start trying to plant. Not going to be able to do it. Diesel gets one pick. It's all going down here, Manic. 10 seconds to go. Oh, it's not going to happen. Wildcard close this out. There we go. Well played by Wildcard. Maybe the comeback train is on. Too early to say.
Certainly is too early to say, but if anything is a good indication, that round will definitely play an effect. Obviously, we know that Wildcard, once they get on those rolls, once they really start to feel their own rhythm, things can really get a bit dicey for the opposing team. Now, again, it is worth noting, it is basement. We now have to head to CCTV, so potentially a different story come the end of round number 8, but in all confidence, I can say that Ferox, even then, still making life a little bit difficult for Wildcard. If that C4 doesn't come out, potentially that diffuses down and you've got positions that are quite strong for Team Ferox with vertical control, dirt control. Things aren't all sunshine and rainbows just yet. But as we inch closer to it, you will want to keep your eyes on the performance that Wildcard have.
Geo, I see, is 10-3, so he is really holding Wildcard in this. I mean, Emo Ring close behind, but a big, scary stat just there is Vince Dia, 1-6. Normally just such a dominant player for Wildcard. I mean, he's been a bit 50-50 in his first season here, but he has had some big matches, and maybe he will step it up on the defenses, but right now he has seemingly struggled a bit on the map. Was playing a bit of hard breach on the attack though, so maybe that's justifiable.
Now, coming into this one, Team Ferox, how long are they going to take to attempt to open up these walls? Generally, we saw Wildcard with the openings around that minute mark once it had been taken off the board. So, Emo Rin playing a similar line to Oda. Now, I don't think that's going to be enough time to actually get either of those Selmas off. He's going to deny both of them. Big play from Emo Rin to start us out here.
Yep, got it in the right order. So it's only one Selma left for Shade. See how effective he can be with it. Maybe deciding just not to play to go here might be Nazgul's job. He's got the Habana. At least they got options to this hard breach. But that's a small win in this round for Wildcard.
Selmas definitely take a lot longer to obviously pop than the other hard breaching devices, so definitely gave Emo Rin a little bit more to work with in that case. Had it been the thermite charge, potentially a little bit different, but story being story, it is now unopened and uncontested from Team Ferox. Looks like Nazgul will actually go back and ensure that they do eventually open it up. I would say smart from Team Ferox there.
Yep. But now, Imorin's bandit tricking construction wall. So they're going to have to think about flushing him out to be able to deal with that. Geo and Diesel both playing below right now. Something that Ferox are going to have to be careful of, because if it's a late round to execute, these vertical positions could really be the undoing of them.
Definitely seems like Wildcard have a lot in this round. That makes it even more difficult for Ferox. Wildcard have played this incredibly well, and with Diesel taking down Nazgul with 30 seconds left, it just seems unattainable here for Ferox, and this is exactly the statement we needed from Wildcard on the back of that first half.
It really is, but ooh, Oda, he's going to be able to take out Immorin. Makes it a 4 versus 4, so maybe still doable, Manic. They're going to have to explode to site. It's going to have to be coordinated. Oda, he's not going to hit those shots, and that's where they all fall. Wildcard will put another one in the book, starting to work their way against this deficit.
There is a world in which that works. There's a couple of things that go a little bit wrong for Ferox on that final 10-second play, but I think at the end of the day, this is very much on the back of Wildcard putting together a strong performance on the defensive side, and we would expect nothing less. Ferox are going to have to go the full distance. They are going to have to do some incredible things to even compete against Wildcard, as we know what happens when you underestimate the ability that they have. Not that I'm saying Ferox are by any means, but
Attackers need to locate
this
and
is
defuse
a
as many bombs as they can.
long way between now and round number 12, Raven.
It is, and again, Ferox just need one round to at least secure themselves overtime. Scary for Wildcard, but again, they could totally do this comeback. Of course, it's possible. I'm a little concerned, but 2 rounds behind is definitely not as bad as it was 4. See what they've got in store here. Ferox, I think, if they can have a smoother earlier rounds,
Left before insertion.
I think that's going to be their bigger win condition, because just then, not much was going right for them early, right? Immorin just totally outplayed on those bandit tricks, and even the impact trick in construction was really hard for Ferox to be able to deal with.
Yeah. And it does snowball pretty quickly in terms of momentum in a round, doesn't it? When things just aren't going your way and you're getting outplayed, things can very quickly get tilting. So Vinny this time, he's going to be playing around down in the bar. And of course, he does have that rotate straight to main stairs, so there's nothing for him to really worry about just yet. Diesel will be absolute nuisance on that alibi.
A bomb has been located.
Speaking of those alibis, that will make that play, should Ferox try to play from the windows, really quite tricky.
Yes, yes it is. And right now, Ferox are taking their time, being very cautious. They're going to get the jacuzzi wall open pretty freely by the looks of things. No contest here from Wildcard. They're going to use 2 Stelmas to do so. They're going to go quick. They're going to go for a rush. There's an evil eye that's been denied, but I think it would have caught it. I don't know. Tots is going for this plant. They're not reacting. Oh my god, Medic. They're going to get this plant up.
Wildcard are none the wiser for what's just happened. Oda's taken down Pat as well. They're still left scratching their heads trying to figure out how has this possibly happened. Geo, he'll find Oda. Hazgul putting in work. Todd is still underneath them as well. This looks like Ferox has absolutely everything they need here. Shade's holding the tight line of jacuzzi wall. Sushi's playing from underneath. Surely this is not possible for Wildcard, as they will be dismantled one by one as they peak. There is nothing to be done in this round. Ferox, my word, what a call and what a play to go deep in round number 9.
Unbelievable. I just... fantastically executed, right? The timing of that, with obviously the changes with Thatcher, it's not clearing anything, it's only disabling stuff. Evil Eye was always like that regardless. But I thought that Evil Eye was active, and I thought it would have caught the edge of Todd running in, but they must have timed that to just perfection. And on top of it, you wouldn't really be that alarmed if you're Wildcard if that Evil Eye got EMP'd, because it's right next to that wall. It's right next to the bathroom wall, for that matter. So it would be pretty common that it would get that disablement. Oh, unreal.
Oh, wow. That's all I've got to say. Wow. A very big call from Ferox, and it pays off so well. There was really nothing left in that round for Wildcard once that plant went down. Literally every line that Wildcard could try and come in from was virtually watched across the board. You had Todd coming from underneath. You had that line from, I believe it was Shade, watching directly up onto the diffuser itself. People on Jacuzzi Wall. You would have to hit the most unbelievable wide swings for that to even be a potential. And now we will move on down to the basement for Wildcard here. Match points for Ferox.
Locate a bomb and defuse it.
That's the thing. Match point. They've got a 3-round buffer. So they only got one of the last 3. That's all they need to be able to get the win here. They were close on this last attack too for Church. I think that's worth pointing out. They got down. They attempted plant. It got denied. But that's close enough where you could say just a couple of adaptations and maybe they could swing that round.
Yep,
So,
for sure.
yeah, Wildcard, definitely. They're in the red zone right now.
Again, it took a C4 to deny that plant as well. And like we were saying, they had a lot of control, in fact, for where that was planted. Lines being held. Ferox just seem like they've really got everything together. It is clicking tonight. And now, I've also got to be fair in saying that Wildcard doing a really good job at bouncing back after what would have been a pretty frustrating first half.
Yep, definitely frustrating, I would say. But they managed to bring it back close. That last round, a real against the grain, and also a bit of a mindset tilter, you know? Like, just the fact that Ferox are able to pull it off, I think would be very frustrating for Wildcard on top of it all. So here we go. They might be doing a rush here again. I don't know, there's 3 of them. No, they're not. Okay. I just wouldn't be surprised, you know?
Look, to be honest, there was all the potential for it. They had the Candela ready. The second that went off, the Candela dropped, but obviously they didn't go for it. However, I've got to say that the play to push back Geo there to ensure that he couldn't go for those impact tricks should he actually have those impact grenades left. He does. He has 2 of them. The fact that Ferox denied him the ability to impact trick that, really strong.
Yep. So let's see. Oh, that frag grenade just doing a little bit of damage to Shade there. I mean, that's the only damage that's been done in this round so far. 40 seconds to go. Stealth damage from a frag grenade. Wildcard just holding their positions. Ferox setting up here for this execute. They're about to smoke this off, and I think it's about to be go, Manic.
Smokes and flashes, you could only imagine that this is go time. This is the moment for Todd to step up, get that plant down. Down goes the EMP. Pat finding that kill on the Nazgul makes things a little bit more interesting. Wow, Shade, that is confident. That is balls to the wall if I've ever seen it. Oda now ensuring that they can't come from behind to stop that defuser. He hasn't stuck it yet. Todd's still just trying to find something. He needs to be careful. Potentially a C4 left. No, it doesn't make a difference. Geo, he shuts down 2 of them, and that could just be the round. Wow, oh wow. You felt like Ferox had come down with enough time. They had plenty of room to move, but Wildcard still make it work on that basement defense.
They do. Again, Ferox, I mean, they had the showings of potentially making that work, but Wildcard didn't give them an inch. So here we go. We go through this rotation again. CCTV cache. Last time it was Rin's bandit tricking that really stunted Ferox. And also the impact trick from Pat in construction just meant that they did not get enough control. So let's see whether that is the win condition here for Ferox, or a checkpoint, so to speak, for improvement.
I'm going to go and say this is the wildest night of Siege that I have ever casted.
I feel that. I would probably agree, honestly. I can't think of another night that's probably going to stand out as much as this night. This has been nuts.
Absolutely insane. Ferox still have 2 more attempts left to make this work. Raven, I have to do it. You pointed out Geo little less than 2 rounds ago, and again, we are pointing him out at 14-4. Not only is it the fact that he's getting these kills, you just saw how impactful they were then. Right down to the wire, the last 10 seconds, there's smokes, there's candelas coming every which way, and he manages to deny 2 players dropping from hatch to shut the round down for Wildcard. You can definitely hang your hat and say thank you very much, Geo, at the end of the day.
I think what's really mind-blowing about that too is he's only died 4 times. Like, we've seen 10 rounds played. He's been alive at the end of 6 of them. And Wildcard have only won 4. Like, I don't know. I just think that's pretty it's pretty out there too. Geo is really doing work for Wildcard. Let's see whether he can pull them through back into overtime. Right now, I think that's probably more on Immorin's shoulders, because if Immorin doesn't do this bandit trick successfully this time, it's going to be a big leg up for Ferox.
Still, this time they only have the Ace and the Hibana, and I am curious to see how much they invest into trying to get this CCTV wall. Obviously, that shield there is going to give them a fair bit of room to wiggle. And see, just on the other side, from what I've seen, it's all but protected the bandit from tricking. So that is a nice kill. That is the Zofia taken off the board. Diesel will be chuffed with himself there. So no longer will they even be able to attempt that Zofia trick, and Rin knows it as well. He's just opened up the barricade, and no reason, to really stress at this point.
No, definitely not a great start to the round for Ferox. Let's see what they can make of it now. Pat's going to get one onto Shade, so this is looking good for Wildcard. 3 players left on Ferox to try and make something happen, but they have not been able to put much pressure on site or obtain really any control. Oda is I think he's the only one that's actually in the building for Ferox at the moment. I'm not really sure what their approach is going to be.
Well, it is quickly dwindling, and by quickly, I mean it's all gone. Nazgul, grab yourself some KD, because that is all you are taking from that round. We are headed to the full regulation, where we will be going straight back to the gym defense to decide whether Ferox take this or we head to overtime, Raven.
Look, when we saw the community vote, I was seriously joking when I said that definitely means overtime. But it feels like it's happening. Here we go. This is the one that Wildcard lost, right? That got Ferox into this 6th position. Gym bedroom. It was the rush plant in gym. You wouldn't expect something like that to work again. Wildcard are surely going to be ready for all that kind of action. So let's see what happens here. Are we going to be seeing overtime? Or is this going to be the surprise Ferox victory that felt like it's been coming for rounds now?
Defenders, protect your bombs from being...
Quite literally, since round number 5, you would have said it was near inevitable, but this is what we were saying about Wildcard, and not just Wildcard, but Wildcard's defense in particular. They are extremely strong at picking themselves up and not letting anything phase them too much. You know, we've had a couple of close games for Wildcard. There's an 8-7 against Noble. There is an 8-6 against Rhythm. You know, I think that they are very much accustomed to the deeper matches, if you will. Obviously, the game against Noble, they weren't able to pull the win out, and for Noble beat them, which I think left us all quite surprised as well. So potentially not the season that Wildcard would have been looking for coming into this. Nevertheless, though, this is a massive game for Ferox. When you talk about how much is really on the line for them, this could potentially be a season-saving game if they manage to win it.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. Is if they don't win this, we talked about what happens if they win it. If they don't, well, then they play LFO for the playoff spot, basically, on Wednesday next week. So, obviously, the one that saved themselves the headache of that, just get the dub here, they're safe.
Wildcard leaving the defense soft across toward the jacuzzi wall. This time, Emo Rin
Bomb
is going
located by
to hard
attackers.
anchor in Jim, and no doubt that Team Ferox will not be reattempting a similar kind of play. They've obviously been able to spot him out there. They are getting a lot of info across this side, Raven.
They are, and there's not a whole lot that's going to stop them from getting bathroom open either. So while they didn't do the rush, they've done pretty well with their map control at the moment. So let's see whether that can continue. They haven't put much pressure on the east side though, which is actually where most of the wildcard players are at the moment.
A bomb has been located.
Oh, we'll wait and see whether that is decisive and into whose favor, because I guess wildcard are all offside and Ferox go deep again. They could potentially be in a spot of bother. They have now fully opened up the bathroom, and Emo Rin, instead of proning, he will crouch. Oh, wow, that could have been a huge kill to start Ferox off.
Would have meant a lot to get Emo Rin out of that gym position,
Attackers have dropped
but not
the
to
bomb
be.
diffuser.
They've still got just under a minute, so there's still quite a bit of time here for Ferox. Vincier just got tagged up heavy. Sounded like a frag grenade in the distance. He's looking to peek towards that gym window. They've got the clearance into bathroom. Very big map control from Shade. He's just in sight. No one's covering him from construction doorway. Not sure what the play was there. They're just going to funnel in. Nazgul gets one Manic. 30 seconds. It's a 4 versus 4. Feels like this round could go either way right now.
Certainly does, but Emo Rin will pick up one. Vinny taking down Oda as well. The belief is dwindling here for Team Ferox. Sushi now on site. Potentially might be able to plant this,
15
but
seconds left.
realistically, a 1 versus 4, it is just not
seconds
doable
left.
at this point. He will have to find some unbelievable kills to even make it a possibility, and Gio will shut him down. We are headed to overtime. Wildcard win 5 on their defense to ensure that they stay alive in this matchup.
Here we go. Third overtime match of the night, Manic. This is definitely a record. I don't think I've ever done this many overtime games in succession. Whew, it's sweaty. Here we go. On defense is Wildcard too. So, gotta say, that's gotta be favoring them right now.
100% it does. This should be, I mean, look, again, I'm a mathematical man, you know? Yeah, mathematician. Woo. The rounds have gone 5-1, 5-1 in favor of the defense. So, you know, if we are just going to make a spitball prediction here, Wildcard will be able to take this, and confidently so. However, we have seen some pretty good things from Ferox there. Should there have been, or had there have been, 2 or 3 players supporting that one player that went deep on the bedroom site there, that might actually be a different story. We may have seen a trade potentially pushing Wildcard out of position, but at the end of the day, decisions have to be made, and it's not a decision that favors Ferox lightly. And with that now, Wildcard are given that opportunity of redemption, which is what this is, after we have seen an incredibly strong showing from Ferox.
10 seconds
They
to
had
go.
3 rounds to grab this win and to save their
5
season.
seconds left.
And Gio has put on 3 kills, 0 deaths since we last talked about the scoreboard. I don't know how Gio is surviving so much, but it's actually pretty nuts. So he's doing a great job for Wildcard. I do want to bring up, you talked about Shade in that play that he went deep in Master. I'm sure he's going to watch it back and think about so many different things he could have done. Go prone and look at Jim. Like, Imorin wasn't shooting at him. He might have been able to kill Imorin first. That could have changed things.
Attackers
Like you said,
located
if
a
people
bomb.
went in with him, maybe they would have been able to trade it out. Could have been different. I think there's a lot of things that Ferox has done different on that round. But they're going to have to adapt to, yes. TCTV Cash has not been successful in the slightest for them for attacks.
No. No, in fact, it's been the exact opposite. And that trend is going to continue there, with Pat denying those ex-Kairos. I don't know how many he's been able to do. I don't know whether he's thrown... Okay, so he's thrown both of them, and they've only been able to open up... Oh, no, they've actually opened up 2 there.
It's like
Easy
barely
peasy.
a prone hole, but they've got that
Yeah.
angle on the right side. I think that's the more important one that they did get open.
Yeah.
So I guess that's all right. Sushi just got tagged up very heavily in a little quick pot shot there. Trying to deny this vertical play that was happening last time. But again, Ferox are just Something. Oh no, the C4 about to come out.
see ya.
Geo, it gets shot. No, it doesn't. I thought it got shot. I don't know what I saw, but there goes Sushi.
I think that was part of Sushi's util, an ADS potentially on the other side, because I heard the exact same noise. And look at Geo. He's just gone and absolutely left that for dead. He is all the way on the other side of the map right now. 18-4. This man is saving Wildcard with his firepower. And now Ferox are left with 3 players left. I just don't see this happening.
The attacker's bomb diffuser
Geo
has
and
been
Pat,
dropped.
they will connect down in the basement.
Yep, Shade just a bit of a sitting duck here in garage storage. He's trying to bait this peek at the top of cache stairs. I agree, it's going to be a very tough situation for Ferox. They have struggled so hard on CCTV cache attacks. It really has not been their best efforts at all. And
I
right
honestly
now, Wildcard are
thought-
just sitting.
Sorry, I honestly thought Emo Rim was baiting then for that player who was down in the basement
Oh.
to go for a peek, but
Could have been. Yeah, could have been.
it never eventuated. But Nazgul, there we go. He does not expect the player in oil. He's not completely dead yet, but 20 seconds left, and Nazgul and Shade really in all sorts of trouble. And Pat, just an easy haircut to finish off the round. And wowzers, what a comeback from Wildcard. A very, very strong performance from their 7 rounds on defense.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, here we go. I'm honestly, I don't know whether I'd say shocked because it was kind of what I expected in the first place. But after seeing Ferox go up 5-1 and even the 6-3, I did not think that we would see Wildcard get to match point here in overtime.
No.
But that's where it's at. Ferox are going to be holding it down in the basement. That's what they've gone for. They're backing themselves here. This is big.
May just be one of the biggest performances they put on in this season of Oceanic Nationals if they're able to convert.
Defenders, protect your bombs from being defused by
Regardless,
attackers.
you'd have to be extremely proud of the effort that they've put in, but there is still one final hurdle. That hurdle being these 2 rounds, and it just doesn't. There's not the glimmer of hope that we once had with how well Wildcard have really diminished the hopes of Ferox, almost stamping out that fire early on. Still, there is hope.
And look, Geo's extended out to 18-4. He still hasn't died. Just when you're talking about his scoreline, I'm just like gobsmacked, honestly.
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, unbelievable. Geo has been a solid game for Geo. Probably one of the best I think I've seen Geo play as a total. And also because Wildcard as a team have been struggling. He has really, I don't like to say that players have carried, but I would hate to think how this could have gone if Geo wasn't having the kind of game that he is right now.
Yeah. No, I think that's a very fair comment. It's a very fair statement to make, because sometimes it does take a moment of brilliance from your players. Sometimes it does take the individuals to step up. And I think that we really can thank Geo for a lot of these rounds that we've seen. Him on the openings, him on the entry, and refragging. He's just been absolutely phenomenal. The fact, Raven, that we are in round 14 and he has lived through 10 of them. 10 rounds is outrageous.
Yeah, actually it's pretty outrageous. Here we go. Geo, speak of the man. He's starting to get his vertical control. Just waiting to see if somebody running through Moto. Actually, there is a player in Moto right now. I'm willing to say that would be Oda. Yeah, it is, with the electric claws. So they're looking to trick this hatch. Again, it's going to be about Ferox just stalling out Wildcard enough, because so much of that success was all about just stalling Wildcard out to the point where they had to do their last minute executes, and it just constantly was not going well.
Not at all. Nice line onto the other side of Church Wall. Once again, Wildcard just do such a great job at deconstructing anyone's defense. The only issue this game has been the finish to their rounds, and because Ferox have been dry in terms of round wins for so long now, this could be everything that Wildcard needed. you can see a minute 15, and they have done so much work, and they will continue to do so as well. As the church wall will now be pretty much taken care of.
Yeah, here we go. That Selma is going to put a big line of sight through. This is putting a lot of pressure on the Ferox. This, in particular, is not one that they would be as familiar with from the previous defenses that they had. Gio's hard up against this wall. This is all going to come down to these opening picks. Sushi gets it, though, onto Vincia, who's had a shocker, conversely to Gio. 40 seconds. Trying to get this entry. Imari will find that rotating player. Here we go, Matic, 30 seconds. I think this is about to be the push.
It has to be. What is the linchpin, though? When do they decide to go? In comes the opening. Gio now knows that there's a player close on the wall. Did it deny? No, it didn't. Gio goes in. Diesel manages to shade out with Sushi. And Shade and Oda, what can they do? Can they deny it for long enough? They have 10 seconds left. Shade and Oda, they hold on for their season here. Gio, he'll be forced off of the angle for now. They've still got line of sight. They might be able to deny this. They have done. Pat can't get anything done. And we're going to round number 15. Ferox are not giving up, not without a fight.
Oh my god, Matic, this is just insane. Just so well played from Ferox, even though they were down that man, a 2 versus 3 in that final moments, they held their composure, as they have all night with their defenses. Honestly, they have impressed me severely, don't know if that's the right word, incredibly, because they've just been so disciplined, and the way that they've been able to close out those rounds has just been great. Here we are. This is time. They're on attack, and Wildcard are going to gym bedroom, which is probably the most 50-50 site, I think.
Yeah, it would be, without a doubt. We've seen one round one, and the other one was even close, you would say, had different decisions have been made from Ferox. There was a lot left in the air on this site. Now, I need to say that for anyone that's viewing at home, we don't have chat open at the moment, so we can't see what anyone's saying, but I think that it would be fair to say, and just to make sure that everyone understands the context here, the reason why we're getting so excited for Team Ferox and we potentially haven't been over the top excited for Wildcard when they've been winning these rounds and forcing it to overtime and things like this, is because there's not as much on the line for Wildcard. Yes, they're playing out of their minds in that second half, and still to an extent, even up until that last round, but the fact of the matter is Ferox have so much on the line, and I mean, the community vote, all of the snowball panel, pretty much, I would say almost everyone at home would never have expected this game to be as close as it is.
Absolutely. Very well put. It's exactly the situation. The stakes are huge for Ferox. And, like, honestly, I know Wildcard are trying to lock in top 2, but their stakes are pale in comparison. So, it is definitely a big game for Ferox. In that regard. This isn't the end of Ferox's season, but this will help them be safe. Of course, if they do lose, again, they will have LFO on Wednesday next week. That will be the decider. The winner of that game will get a playoff spot.
Yes. So, again, a lot of context that needs to be given for these kind of matches, because if you've just tuned in and you don't really know much about what's going on, it probably sounds a little bit crazy what's going on, but we are coming down to the absolute end of the season. This is the last game tonight. This is the last game before we head to the end of the Playdays. Shade now. They are getting that wall open in pretty decent timing as well there. So 2 minutes left on the clock here.
And this is the part they've been good with their gym bedroom attacks, is just opening these walls, putting the pressure. Immarin was hard holding Jim in the previous successful round from Wildcard. He's not doing that this time. He's actually safely in the bathroom, which looks like they want to open, but he's got impacts. So Immarin is going to be impact tricking this bathroom wall, which is probably going to be quite a pain for Ferox.
It's all about timing at this point. Sushi happy to just go in and find something early on. Still no intel that Ferox have that could really determine the round here, Raven. There's a minute left. And Shay's taking a little bit of damage. I think that's from Gio just sitting back behind bedroom and watching the drone hold, so.
Yep.
Reloaded.
Gio died last round, by the way. Just in case anyone was wondering, he actually died. But here we go. 50 seconds left of this entire matchup, Rob. It's just Ferox are close right now. They've got some vertical pressure. They're looking for this gym plant. But have they got enough to deny the presence in Master? Diesel says no. He gets Nazgul. 30 seconds. They have to try and get more pressure or get this plant down.
And Geo getting baited out there. Diesel going down makes things a little bit more interesting now. Geo forced off the angle. Todd, he will be able to stick this plant. Is there any vertical pressure? It doesn't look like it. Oda now, he's holding the line. Geo does manage to drop it out, and Wildcard have gone absolutely massive. Shade can't get anything done with Pat cleaning things out with a triple kill. It was so close, yet so far away for Team Ferox. Through the trials and tribulations of Clubhouse, Wildcard come out on top, 8-7.
What an absolutely unbelievable game. It was just insane. Both teams ended up playing very well. I think huge credit to Ferox. They really rose to the occasion and to the challenge here. And huge credit to Geo. He put up a great fight against Ferox.
Just flabbergasted at the result. I mean, utter tooth and nail right until the last minute. Thought potentially when Diesel goes down there, it's a 4v4. Things are getting a little bit more tricky for Wildcard to hold that, but unfortunately for Ferox, Pat steps up at a moment of need with a 3K to ensure that that round is not successful. And oh man, what an end to the most maddening, sickening, crazy night of Oceanic Siege I have ever witnessed.
Yep, I definitely concur with that. I reckon the LFO boys are probably feeling a bit left out. The only match tonight that didn't go 7-8. How unbelievable is that? I have never experienced such... I don't know. I cannot even describe it anymore. It's just been an incredible night of Siege. But look, Ferox Wildcard, that was a great game. It was a tale of two halves, really. Very defense-sided in the end. Yeah. I was very impressed with the way Ferox played.
Yes. And that is full credit to both their attacking, more so their defending side than their attacking side, but still on their attacking side, it wasn't like Wildcard had anything for free, but I mean, that has just been utter domination from a couple of the players on the roster of Ferox. Now, we actually have Sushi on the other side of the line, so we'll have a chat with him. Mate, it is 12:45 in the morning. You guys have just played full overtime against the best team in ANZ, and there was so many times there where it looked like you guys were going to take it. I don't really know what to say at this point, but how on earth have you guys had the mental fortitude to push it so long?
I don't know. We actually scrimmed pretty late into the night, so the time of 12:40 wasn't really a factor for us. We're just kind of used to it, you know. The gamer hours come in clutch, but nothing much to it than some good old Barocca and just, you know, playing the game.
Yeah. Look, I am still absolutely stunned because that was an incredible game. You guys put in a really good performance. I would love to hear maybe some insight on the little rush plant call in gym, which I thought was beautifully executed. So maybe tell us, how did that come about, and did it go off as exactly as you planned, or were there hiccups?
Okay, so maybe about like an hour before the game, we were watching a VOD of Wildcard. Shade actually picked up that a gym plant was completely free. So we kind of just went with the call, trusted the call, and it just worked. So, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. Just a lot of trust in Shade, really.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that all of you guys played really well tonight, by the way. Like, that was such a close performance, and it is a shame that you guys weren't able to snatch that victory. I mean, there was a time there where it was going to be a 6-0 defensive half. Can I just very quickly ask before we let you go, what was going on in that first half where you were, like, literally, you dominated it?
First half, it was mostly everyone was just winning their ones. We had very clean comms for most of the part on our defense. We were really just playing off each other, making sure we were trading at least. And we just really focused on winning our gunfights and taking it to Wildcard. swinging was a big thing. Making sure we could secure some frags to sway the round. But then it went on to attack, and we played pretty garbage, to be fair. But yeah, it is what it is. We're just going to improve on it, and it's fine.
Yep. Yeah, well, there's some big takeaways from tonight, and I'm sure you guys, once you sit down and go through it, you'll be very happy with how things end. Well, not happy with how things ended, but happy at the performance. Anyway, Sushi, you have LFO coming up next week, mate. That is a season-deciding match for you guys. I wish you the best of luck, and I look forward to seeing that, mate.
Thank you. Thanks, guys, for the cast. Always fun watching the VOD back.
Oh. Beautiful.
Stop it, you! Stop it!
Look, I'm sure they're going to have fun watching that VOD back, because I don't think they played as bad as he made it sound like they played on their attacks, at least. But look, overall, that was just a great game from them. They could take a lot of positives from that, I think, coming into next week. It's hard. LFO and Ferox both with big wins tonight. They're both going to be going with big confidence, and I'm so excited for that matchup, honestly.
Yeah, no, it's going to be insane. I think that, like you were saying, when they watch this VOD back and they actually have a look at what went on for Wildcard and how well they played on their defense as well, I don't think that they'll really be upset whatsoever. I mean, obviously you're going to be. You can never be truly happy with it, but it is one of those times where you have to take the positives, right? And you literally nearly bested the best team in ANZ. And speaking of the best team in ANZ, we have the ever so wonderful Silex on the line. My friend, start off, congratulations on a very hectic game. I'm looking at you right now. Was that as hectic for you guys as it was for us here in the casting desk?
You look exhausted, mate.
Dude, like my heart, I feel like I'm sweating and I wasn't even playing. It's just, it's way too much. I'm getting too old for this.
I feel you. I feel you.
Yeah, no. I think, Raven, I'll let you lead the question here, mate.
Yeah, look, I'm still pretty stunned from the whole game in general. I don't even know what to ask. I guess I want to ask you about the rush play. Like, any insight into the guys' reactions and like what went wrong with that play?
Oh yeah, we didn't hear the plant, so yeah, we're all just sitting there like, round's fine. Diffuser's been planted. All right. No one's in position for any kind of like positional retake or anything. They've set up outside. They've got one outside pool window ready to like shoot people through the hatch. Yeah, that was like, as soon as that plant went down, it was pretty grim for us at that point.
Yeah.
And that put them to match point as well, which is just utterly insane.
Yeah.
Very quickly, I'd like to ask you about their defensive side, because from our side, it looked like they played incredible. Were you guys making mistakes, or would you put that first half performance on Team Ferox?
Oh, it's like they played really well on their defense. Don't want to take that away from them. Their plant denial was just really on point. Like the first almost every round, I guess. Smoke denial, C4s, just everything. We're like starting the plant, and then next minute we like that player dies and we can't replant. And we were really unfortunate with Diesel getting downed on our gym attack, and Emo was trying to plant. I think it was Emo, and yeah, he couldn't plant because the revive prompt. But yeah, our attacks, they were sloppy. Like there was that. I think one of the cash rounds, we were trying to open up the the TV door to Red Hall, so we could Zofia stun. But we're doing that. Vinny's probably out there on strip doing it with a one-time scope, and he's missing the shots. We're pinging the wall or pinging the door. So yeah, that took up a minute and a half when it should have only taken just like 45 seconds maybe. Yeah, we just need to be a bit more on ball. They weren't giving away any free picks, so when it came to the executes, it's like 4 versus 4, 5 versus 5, and yeah, crunch time. They won them.
No, they did, and full credit to them. They played incredibly well, but so did you, my friend, and the rest of the team at Wildcard. You guys have a top of the table clash against Akami next week, which is going to be even more exciting considering their form heading into it. So we wish you all the best of luck, and we'll see you on Wednesday, Silex.
Thank you. See you then. Bye.
Man, we have a bottom of the table clash that decides relegation. We have a top of the table clash which decides first First place, sorry. Whew. Incredible. What a way. What a way we are ending this season of Oceanic Nationals, Raven.
Pretty nuts. It has made next week shape up to be incredibly exciting. I was a bit worried that maybe a lot of stuff would get locked in tonight and next week would just be all about like the seeding and the final placements, but that'd be it. But no, it is quite open next week. I'm definitely looking forward to that LFO Ferox game because after the way both teams played tonight, I think it's gonna be a tough game to call. And with what's on the line, they are going to be putting their hearts out there.
Yeah, and they have to. Nothing shy of it would really be acceptable at that point. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's have a look at the night and what really it's led us to. This is unbelievably ridiculous. An 8-7 win for Akami against the Knights. Elevate drop the map to LFO, which gives them an opportunity at next week's last Playday. Rhythm whiskers wide of beating Noble and confirming their place at an opportunity of actually taking themselves out of relegation. And then once again, that 8-7 between Wildcard and Ferox. Raven, please sum up what we have seen.
Absolute chaos. Like, it's just been such a big night of Siege. You can see it, right? There are 3 games going 8-7. We had a couple of rehosts earlier in the night as well. That's how we are basically almost at 1 a.m. right now. Just thinking about Okami versus Pittsburgh, that felt like it was literally yesterday, but it feels like it was just a whole dimension ago. Tonight has been nuts. And I think tonight actually really summarizes how Oceanic Nationals has been. There has been upsets, teams rising and falling. It has been a very competitive display from the entire region. I mean, we're talking about teams finishing in relegation zone, but LFO have put up competitive performances. Look at Rhythm. They've had so many overtime games this season. They've only won 1, but it has just been competitive across the board.
From start to finish, you couldn't be much happier. Well, this is where we lie heading into the last day. This, ladies and gentlemen, is the final time you will see the standings at the end of a play day, realistically, if I'm being honest, because next week is where it's all decided. Down the very bottom, we have a 3-way tie. Now, Ferox are playing LFO. Whoever wins that game is out of relegation, maybe, depending on what happens with Rhythm. Now, I can't... It's insane. We'll break it down for you next week, but virtually what happens here is if Rhythm wins, they pole vault, I believe, to the qualifying for playoffs. That is if LFO beats Ferox. It is literally this awkward triangle that is just going to be utter chaos. And then at the top, of course, things are just going to get even nuttier toward the end of the play day.
Yeah, and look, it will be something that we will break down next Wednesday. I won't go into too much details right now. Even that top 2 spot is now open because Okami and Knights are on the same points. One of them could lock in second place. We talked about how safe and secure those top 2 seeds are. It's again something we'll talk more about next week. But I think next week's important. Like, you guys won't want to miss that because it's going to really shape up what the playoffs look like. And then, like we've said so many times now, who is going to be in that bottom 2 for the relegations?
Yep, and that's the big question for us right now. Where do we lie when it comes to that? Well, ladies and gentlemen, we'll find out next week. Thank you very much for joining us. It's been a night of utter chaos and enjoyment. We will see you on Wednesday night at 6:45 p.m. Take care.
I just want a little bit of company. You acting like you really wanna fall for me. But baby, can you tell me who you wanna be? Talk to me. I just want a little bit of company. You acting like you really wanna fall for me. But baby, can you tell me who you wanna be? I left my team and see my best. I still want something that can last. You make me feel like I'm okay. We both know that you feel the same. Baby, I got nothing else to prove. You talking about your best, I don't know. Remember that you always get to choose. Talk to me. I just want a little bit of company. You acting like you guess you got my intention. Got no place I'd rather be, feel like another dimension. I don't wanna talk, maybe you should let it go. I don't wanna go, let me say a little more. Talk